Sushil, I am audible. Sushil?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
So now we are going to start our today's lecture. In previous session, we have seen the wall timing diagram, and in that wall timing diagram, what is the opening position, closing position of the wall? These points we have covered. We have seen that the ideal cycle of the wall timing diagram. In today's session, we are going to start the actual wall timing diagram. Okay, so we are just waiting for 15 seconds for joining all the participants. Okay, now we are going to start. We have seen the ideal wall timing diagram for the SI engine and CI engine, but now we are going to start to see the actual wall timing diagram for four-stroke SI engine. If you see that in the four-stroke SI engine, the inlet valve opens 20° before TDC and it will closes 35° after BDC. So, considering the actual cycle discussed, the wall needs to be operated to meet the mechanical and dynamic requirements. And the correct timing of the opening and closing of the inlet and exhaust valve that improves the power and efficiency. So, wall timing diagram is adjusted according to the speed of the engine, and typical wall timing diagram for slow speed engine and high speed engine is the different. So if you observe over here, the inlet valve we are going to open the 20° before TDC and it will closes after 35°. So as we are seeing that the when the piston reaches to the BDC and starts the compression stroke, the charge continues to move into the cylinder due to its kinetic energy. So to take the advantages of inlet valve, it keeps open few degree before BDC. So that's why we are keeping it 20° before 20° before here. The inlet valves we are going to open the before the TDC over here, and the kinetic energy of the charge produces the ram effect, which forces more charge to be admitted into the cylinder. So the inlet valve for slow speed engine and high speed engine we are opening before TDC, and as we are seeing that the opening of the inlet valve during the exhaust stroke, it is necessary to ensure that the inlet valve will remain fully open and fresh charge start to flow into the cylinder as soon as the piston start moving from TDC to BDC over there. Next point we are going to see related with the exhaust valve. The exhaust valve open few degrees before the BDC over here, and it will closes few degree after TDC. If you observe in this 35° before BDC, it will open and it will closes 10° after here TDC. Now the exhaust valve remain open even after the inlet valve has opened, and this period, if you are observing that during this period when both the valves are open, this is called as the valve overlap, and this will help to driving out the exhaust gases efficiently. So the exhaust wall, as we are saying, 35 degree before BDC, and it will close as 10 degree after TDC over there. Next point related with the ignition, as we have discussed previously, due to the time lag between the supply of the spark and the ignition charge, the spark is provided few degrees before the end of the compression stroke, and this is called as the ignition advance also. And we are providing the spark, here we are observing providing the spark 35 degree before TDC over there. Okay, so this is the wall timing diagram of the SI engine, actual wall timing diagram, where we have shown the opening and closing of the inlet wall and exhaust wall. Also we have shown the ignition point over there. Okay, and we have discussed previously suction stroke during the inlet wall opening and inlet wall closing, compression stroke from the inlet wall closing to the here uh, at the spark we are providing, and then expansion stroke from spark providing to the exhaust wall open, and from exhaust wall open to the exhaust wall closes, there is a exhaust stroke we are observing. So this is the actual diagram for 4-stroke SI engine. Have you any difficulty regarding this? याच्याबद्दल काही शंका आहे का?
No, sir.
Okay. Now next part we are going to. Hello. काही शंका आहे का?
सर मला
हा.
अगोदर 20 डिग्री पण होतं का?
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हा बोला.
हॅलो सर, सत्पनच्या वेळेस
Hello, who is speaking? So next point we are going to discuss actual wall timing diagram for the CI engine. Now if you observe in this CI engine, we are going to open the inlet wall here 25 degree before TDC, and it will close as 30 degree after BDC over there. And this stroke, we are calling it as a suction stroke. And during this suction stroke, the charge will be introduced inside the combustion chamber over there. Okay, so the wall timing diagram for the diesel engine, you can observe in this diagrammatic representation, and the various strokes as we have discussed previously in case of the petrol engine. Now we are going to discuss in case of the diesel engine also. Okay, the fuel needs to be inject few degrees before TDC for the better evaporation and mixing of the fuel and the air, because we have seen that in the SI engine we are going to supply the charge before 20 degree, but here we are providing the 25 degree and it will closes after the 30 degree. Why we are providing such kind of the arrangement? Because the fuel needs to be better evaporation and mixing of the fuel and the air. So we are seeing over here that the fuel wall closes before few degrees after the TDC, as we have shown over here. So the wall timing has to be adjusted upon the type of the engine, means low speed engine and high speed engine. So in this diagram, you can see inlet wall opening, inlet wall closing, during which we have shown the suction stroke. And 30 degree after the wall closings, the compression strokes will takes place. So during this, compression action will be taken over there. So 30° after, you can see here the compression stroke starts. Next, expansion stroke starts and it will end up to the 45° before TDC over there, and this is the exhaust valve opening there. So after that exhaust valve open, the exhaust strokes will be started and it will be closes 15°. We can observe 15° after TDC. So this is the diagrammatic representation, and you can see that the valve timing diagram opening and closing for the diesel engine. So are you getting the actual valve timing diagram for 4-stroke CI engine? काही शंका आहे का याच्यात?
No, sir.
Okay. So these are the different port timing diagram for the 2-stroke CI engine I have shown. So this is for the, you can see here, as port is opening, port is closing, I have shown here. So at this time, you can observe this. So here you can see in this typical port time diagram. So this is the 2-stroke engine shown over here. And the timing for various events, as we have seen, here the exhaust port opens. You can observe here the exhaust ports open 60° we have shown. Then exhaust port closes 60° from this point also. So also we can see the secondly, transport port open 45° and transport port closes 45°. So we have shown all these opening and closing of the port time diagram, and during this you can see we are shown here the suction stroke, expansion stroke, and the compression stroke also. So suction, expansion, compression, and exhaust stroke will be covered here during one revolution of the crankshaft. So here you can see the lapping is more over here. Okay, so this is the port timing diagram for 2-stroke CI engine. Just you have to draw the diagram whenever they are going to ask you in the examination, and you have to just give the angle at which time it will be closes and opens over there. So we have seen the various types of the valve timing diagram for the SI engine, valve timing diagram for the CI engine, and we have seen the port timing diagram over there. Now, next point, we are going to cover the engine components, material, function, and manufacturing methods over there. Now, first point, we are going to see the name of part is the cylinder. Okay. So if you observe that a cylinder in IC engine have to withstand very high pressure, okay, which is up to the 70 bar, and temperature up to the 2500°C due to the combustion of the fuel is carried out within the cylinder. So the cylinder must be cooled, and the air cooled for low capacity engines we are using, and the liquid cooled we are using for the high capacity. So in such kind of the situation, the material used for the cylinder is high grade cast iron or alloy. So we are saying that it may also use aluminum alloy for reduction of the weight also in case of the aeroplanes and automobile. So for the cylinder making, we are using the high grade cast iron alloy or alloy steel. So as per the applications, whenever we are using it, aeroplanes, or we are using in the automobiles, as per the weight consideration, we are using also aluminum alloy also. Okay. Next, second point is the cylinder head. Cylinder head, the function of the cylinder head is to seal the top end of the cylinder. So the space is provided to carry the wall mechanism. So the spark is fitted over the cylinder head, and the material we are using the cast iron and the aluminum alloy, and the manufacturing methods we are using the casting and the forming over there. Next is the piston and the piston rings. So while discussing with the piston and the piston rings, the function of the piston is to transmit the gas force to the connecting rod. Hence, it will be crank will be rotate over there. So it slides inside the cylinders. So usually pistons are made up of the cast steel aluminum alloy, as it requires the strength over there. And the process of manufacturing is casting and forging over there. Next, these are the piston. We are making it hollow because we are finding that the hollow because of only one face of the cylinder is the working face. So we are making it hollow. Next, related with the piston rings. Piston rings made up of the cast steel to prevent the leakage of the gases to the crankcase. And the upper ring is called as the compression ring, and the lower ring is the oiling rings. And these rings have oil grooves with several holes, so that the discharge of excess lubricating oil from the cylinder wall is drained to the hole in the piston, from where the oil leakage, from where oil is sent back to the oil sump. So that's why the piston rings we are made up from the silicon cast iron, and the casting method we are using. So this is the piston and piston ring related. Next is the restore. We are saying that the piston pins also. So it is made up of the hardened steel in the shape of the spindle, and it connects the piston small end of the connecting rod and the bearing fitted with it with the small end bearing. So it is made up of the steel, and the forging method we are using. Next point is the walls. These walls, the engine has two walls, namely suction wall and exhaust wall. And these walls operated by cam mounted or on the camshaft. So the cam rotates half of the speed of the crankshaft in the crankcase in case of the four-stroke engine. So with the help of wall timing diagram, the tooth ratio is 1:2 we have seen. So it is made up of special alloy steel, and the method for manufacturing this wall is the forging over there. Next is the connecting rod. So in case of the connecting rod, one end of the connecting rod is connected to the piston through a gudgeon pin called small end, and the other end of crank through the crank pin with the big end. So the connecting rod transmit the piston load to the crank. So it converts the reciprocating motion of the piston into the rotary motion of the crankshaft. So these are generally made up of the connecting rod. We are generally made up of the nickel, chrome, or vanadium steel. So the method of manufacturing is of the connecting rod is the forging. Now next point is the crankshaft. Now crank or crankshaft, crank is the integral part of the crankshaft. Now crankshaft is the support of the main bearing and carries the balancing weight. So it also carries the flywheel to even out the fluctuating torque. So crank and crankshaft are steel forged and machined to smooth finish. So crankshaft, as we have discussed, we are using material alloy steel and SG iron, and we are manufacturing these with the forging method. Next point is the crankcase. Now, in case of the crankcase, crank, crankshaft, and main bearings are set in the crankcase, and the bottom of the engine is closed by means of the oil sump, which carries the lubricating oil. So the crankcase is made up of the aluminum alloy, steel, cast iron, and the method of the manufacturing this is the casting. Next point is the cylinder liners. So these cylinder liners we are considering, these are material we are using for the cylinder liners: cast iron, nickel alloy steel, and the method of manufacturing is the casting. So why we are using the cylinder liners? Because if you observe over there, every time it is not possible to replace the cylinder. So just because we can observe that the piston rings are in continuous contact with the cylinder, so it will be worn out there. There will be material reduction over there. So it is not feasible to every time we are changing the cylinder. So at that time we are using the cylinder liners. So it is made up of the cast iron and nickel alloy steel, which is made up from the casting. Next point, we are seeing the bearings which we are using, and bearings are made up of white metal and leaded bronze, and the manufacturing method is the casting. So here we have seen the different parts of the cylinder, what are its function, which kind of the material we are using for manufacturing those parts, and what are the methods for the manufacturing. This is very much important part, because at the time of the MCQ, they are going to ask you the material and the method of the manufacturing. Also at the time of the oral, they are going to ask what is the function of the different parts of the materials of the IC engine, and how what is its function. So are you getting clear idea about the different parts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to discuss the ideal air standard PV and TS diagram. So in this actual PV and TS diagram, you can see that pressure we have plotted vertically, volume we have plotted on the x-axis. Same in TS diagram, you can observe over here the temperature is plotted on the y-axis, and S is the entropy over there. So entropy is plotted on the x-axis. So we have plotted the PV and TS diagram of the air standard cycle. So 1 to 2 process is the isentropic compression process. Next 2 to 3 constant volume heat addition process. Next 3 to 4 isentropic expansion process, and 4 to 1 process, that is the constant volume heat rejection process. Now if you observe here, during 1 to 2 process, isentropic compression process, why we are calling it as isentropic compression process? Because entropy parameter is the constant. So as entropy parameter is the constant, we are saying it as an isentropic process, and we are saying it as an isentropic compression, because if you observe here, the volume gets reduced and pressure gets increased. This is the compression process. So during this process, the pressure volume is reducing and pressure is increasing. So 1 to 2 process is called as the isentropic compression. Next process, 2 to 3 process, constant volume heat addition. During this process, the volume parameter is the constant over there, and as there is a volume parameter is the constant, we are saying it as a constant volume process. And heat addition, during this 2 to 3 process, you can observe the entropy is increasing and temperature is also increasing over there. So this is the heat addition process. So this process is called as the constant volume heat addition. So whenever there is a heat addition, you may observe there the entropy is increasing, also temperature is increasing. Next process, 3 to 4 process. During this 3 to 4 process, the entropy parameter is the constant, and this is called as entropy parameter is the constant, this is called as the isentropic process. And during this process, the volume gets increased and pressure gets reduced. So this is the isentropic expansion process. During expansion process, the volume is increasing and pressure is reducing. Next process is 4 to 1 constant volume heat rejection process. During this process, 4 to 1 process, you can observe the volume parameter is the constant over there. And during this constant volume, there is a entropy is reducing, and as well as temperature is also reducing. So there is a heat rejection during this process. So total process 4 to 1 is called as a constant volume heat rejection. And this is the ideal air standard PV and TS diagram representation. So have you any difficulty regarding this? याच्याबद्दल काही शंका आहे का?
नाही sir.
So once again, I am repeating, during this process, 1 to 2 isentropic compression, as we are saying, entropy parameter is constant, and compressed due to the compression, volume gets reduced, pressure gets increasing. So 2 to 3 process, volume parameter is the constant. So that's why we are saying constant volume process, and heat addition means entropy as well as temperature is increasing. Next 3 to 4 process, there is a entropy parameter is the constant. So as we are saying, isentropic process, and during this process, there is a volume is increasing and pressure is reducing. So this is the isentropic expansion process. Next, last process is the 4 to 1 process. During this 4 to 1 process, volume parameter is the constant, and as volume is the constant, so we are saying it as a constant volume. Heat rejection means entropy gets reduced and temperature gets reduced. So this is the representation of ideal cycle using the working fluid. We are saying air as a working fluid, so that's why we are saying it as a air standard cycle, and we are not considering any kind of the losses over here. Okay, so this is the air standard cycle we have discussed. Now in next lectures we are discussing the loss in the fuel air cycle. So in today's lecture we have discussed the wall timing diagram for the actual wall timing diagram for the CI engine. Next we have discussed the actual wall timing diagram of the SI engine. Next we have discussed port timing diagram for the SI engine. In next point we have discussed the port timing diagram for two-stroke CI engine. In next point we have discussed the different materials, its function, and which kind of the material we are using, and the methods of manufacturing of the that material. Next point we have discussed the air standard cycle on PV and TS plotting. So have you any difficulty regarding this? याच्याबद्दल काही शंका आहे का?
No, sir.
So your class strength is more, but here observing that only 7 students are attending the lectures. Okay. So tell your students to attend the lectures. Okay. So I'm going to stop the lecture over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.